No, we're the ones who get to pick who talks to you. You have to come and meet with us. And that's what being in a union means. You know, on May Day, we rightly discuss all the things that the workers' movement has yet to accomplish. You know, we have all these problems, but we don't claim our victories. And I want to say, without claiming any easy victories, to list the things that we have won over the past month of protest and struggle. Hundreds of thousands of student workers rallied around the nation for our workers facing deportation, and now over 1,500 student visas have been reinstated. We have freed our student and comrade, Mohsen Mahdawi. I want each and every one of you to know that we will not stop and we will not relent until we have freed Mohsen, until we have freed Rumesa, and we have freed every single person who is being threatened with deportation. Mahmoud, I'm sorry. You know? And I gotta say, we will not stop until ICE is destroyed. The deportation terror regime must end. That is the terror regime that our workers are facing. So, it's May Day. We got a lot of actions today. But if you've got the energy, I want to invite each and every one of you to join us at 5 p.m. for the Central Labor Council's labor convening May Day rally and march. Please come out. You're welcome to join the UAW contingent. But I'll finish it off with another chant that you might hear on the picket lines. When I say worker, you say power. Worker. Power. Worker. Power. Union. Power. Union. Power. Oh, everybody got the power. Union power, worker power. Thank you, everybody.
When workers right now.
Is Donald Trump in the USA?
Is Donald Trump in the USA?
I believe that we will win.
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 Peace, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Taji, and I'm with the People's Forum. It is a pleasure to stand side by side with each of you today on May Day, because this May Day is particularly special. This May Day will be remembered as one where we brought thousands of people out into the streets to demonstrate what we have learned, which is that this system is in decay, which is that this system is dangerous, which is that this system must be defeated. Today we stand in solidarity with the workers and the oppressed here in the US, in Africa, in Palestine, and in many other places. Because over the past 18 months, the workers here in the US have become increasingly aware of how US imperialism is not only a threat to the people in the global South, it is a threat to us here, and it is a threat to our planet. While millions of people wake up every day here in the US and go to work, they're still unable to afford basic necessities like housing and food. While our government funds a genocide that destroys homes and starves children in Palestine. While millions of people wake up every day struggling with healthcare debt, unable to afford healthcare, our government funds a genocide in Palestine that destroys hospitals and kills doctors and healthcare workers daily. And while millions of people are in fear of a militarized law enforcement coming into their schools, into their jobs, and into their homes, afraid that they might be snatched away and disappeared from their loved ones, our government is still funding a genocide in Palestine that is imprisoning thousands of Palestinians, including children. But like the steadfast Palestinian people, like the Amazon Teamsters, like the US postal workers, like the peasants in Vietnam and in China, like the Haitians who freed themselves from slavery, we will not be deterred. We will not be deterred. And that's because our movement is growing. And this movement will continue to grow. Because the millionaires and the billionaires have become too greedy and too comfortable. They think that they can keep the truth from us. They think that we won't be able to understand reality. But see, the thing is, they don't understand is that we live in it. Reality tells us, yeah, that's right, reality tells us that the majority of Americans are working paycheck, living paycheck to paycheck. Still, shame. The majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in student debt, drowning in healthcare debt. We know this, we see this, and we live this. Are you okay with this? No! Are you going to sit back and let the millionaires and the billionaires create more wealth for themselves while they condemn the masses to poverty? No! Are you going to fight back? Are you going to help to build a stronger foundation for the next generation? Are you prepared to show them that you're not afraid? So are you prepared to fight for what you believe in? I don't know if I believe you. Are you prepared to fight for what you believe in? Well, today, on this May Day, on International Workers' Day, we need to declare that we will win.
Funds the genocide in Palestine is the one that steals our wages. That steals our time. That exploits us every day. We can see right now that the Rent Guidelines Board has proposed a 5% increase on rent for people who are already on housing vouchers. Shame! Shame! And so we know that we got struggle to do right here too. And it's linked with the fight for people across the world, workers across the world. Right? Right? Okay, amazing. I want to welcome up our next speaker, Nieves from La Peña del Bronx.
Voy a hablar en castellano. A ver lo que se sabe esta cocina. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Y si nos echan, nos regresamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Y si nos echan, nos regresamos. Ella va a ser mi traductor. Yo soy una vieja revolucionaria del siglo pasado.
I'm a revolutionary from many, many years ago.
Y me da mucho gusto ver a la juventud,
And I'm so glad to see the youth here today.
los que nos van a relevar.
The ones that will rise us up.
Yo estoy aquí por defender al pueblo inmigrante, que todos somos inmigrantes.
I'm here to defend the immigrants because we are all immigrants.
Mi marido Víctor Toro lleva 41 años indocumentado y todavía no tiene solución.
My husband has 41 years undocumented and with no solution still.
Yo soy del sur del Bronx y cómo nos organizamos a nivel de la casa con el perro y el gato.
I am from the South Bronx and we organize ourselves from our houses, from our communities.
A nivel de la cuadra,
Every street, every corner,
a nivel de los bloques,
every block,
a nivel del territorio.
every territory.
Y eso se llama poder del pueblo.
And that is called people power.
Esa organización tenemos que hacerla desde lo más chiquito hasta lo más grande.
This type of organization we have to do from the smallest part to the biggest area.
Y eso nos da resultado ahí en el sur del Bronx por las poquitas cosas que hay.
And that will bring us the results that we want to see, from the smallest to the biggest.
Todo lo que ven en el sur del Bronx ha sido lucha de la comunidad. Nada nos han dado gratis.
Every struggle that has been won has been due to organization in the South Bronx.
Claro, y eso cuesta que te encarcelen, que te golpeen, que te maltraten, que te aíslen.
And that requires for you to be incarcerated, repressed, and just oppressed all the time in the struggle.
Y aquí en las entrañas del monstruo sufrimos al nivel de los palestinos y de los mapuches y de los pueblos indígenas.
And we suffer just the same as the Palestinians and indigenous people all across the world.
Por eso, con todas las fuerzas de la historia,
With all of the power of our history,
a defendernos
to fight
y a resistir,
and to resist.
y a resistir.
To resist.
Give it up for Nieves! The next speaker I want to welcome is a longtime organizer for Palestine. I know that we've all been in the streets for more than a year fighting for Palestine, right? You're all transformed by the struggle in Palestine, right? Okay, so then I want you to listen very closely to Bill from Palauda.
And white supremacism and national chauvinism and all forms of bigotry. Today we say that no human being is illegal except for the billionaire parasite capitalist class and their agents in Washington and on Wall Street. Today we say we are one global class, whatever country we live in. One class with one cause, with one enemy. The billionaire monopoly capitalist ruling class, that the racist capitalist ruling class that is today centered in the United States, in Wall Street and in Washington under the leadership of the Trump regime. We are not confronting a constellation of issues. We are fighting one issue. One global class war. And today, the heart of that class war is the heroic land of Palestine. Because our enemy, the U.S. military financial state, and its agent, so-called Israel, is using all their power, all their weapons of mass destruction to exterminate, to wage a war of extermination against the people of Palestine. They are burning children to death by the thousands. And they are starving 2 million people. They are trying to starve 2 million people to death. While our governments around the world stand silent, and our so-called our government, their government, continues to pour in arms and money. They want to send a message to the world. The only crime of the Palestinian people is fighting to live in peace and freedom in their own land. And we want to send a message today. Our enemy wants to send a message that if you resist, if you stand up to us, we can destroy you, we can murder you, we can massacre you. That's the message they are trying to send in Palestine to people, to resisting people all over the world. Can we let them do that? No! Can we let them do that? No! Today, we have our own message. A message to the corporate ruling class and its flunkies. We can no longer allow our communities to be plundered, to pay for genocide in Palestine and war against the world. We can no longer allow our plans to turn out weapons of mass destruction rather than building hospitals and schools and housing we need. And we have to send a message to our so-called labor leaders. You cannot fight against Trump. You cannot fight against the oligarchy unless you fight to free Palestine, unless you stand up to war and genocide, unless you fight against the endless war economy that the racist state of Israel is the core of at this time. We cannot allow them to starve the people of Gaza to death We must use all our power with the workers and unions around the world to break the blockade, to get the food and medicine and water into Gaza, and to get an arms embargo on the racist state of Israel, and to get every single U.S. ship and troop and plane out of the Middle East and every other country. Lest we think our enemy is invincible. Yesterday marked the 50th anniversary. Does anyone know what it was? When the Vietnamese people took back Saigon and threw out the U.S. war machine. That was a great victory for the working class and oppressed people everywhere, including here. Now the genocide happening in Palestine did not begin on October 7th of last year. It began 77 years ago when the Nakba, the Holocaust, the dispossession of the people of Palestine began by the Truman administration. So I want to ask everyone to join us to mark that anniversary on May 10th, Saturday, in Bay Ridge at 12 noon, to join with the Arab and Palestinian community here on the 77th anniversary of the Nakba. And today, let's hold accountable the U.S. government and corporations, war profiteering corporations like Citibank and Chevron for the genocide, who are getting rich off the genocide in Palestine. We got to shut them down. And let us say two phrases that our enemies fear most. One is free, free Palestine. And the other is workers and oppressed people of all countries unite. You have nothing to lose with our chains. Not another penny, not another dime, no more money for Israel's crimes. Not another penny, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
Not another penny, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
Woo, give it up for Bill. Are you guys ready to march? Are you guys ready to march? I can't think of a better way of celebrating workers around the world than marching in solidarity with them, showing them that worker power in the U.S. is strong, that we are fighting from the belly of the beast. So you can start limbering up, but before we get going, I want to welcome our last speaker of the day, Marco from Red de los Pueblos Transnacionales.
Thank you. Are we ready to march? Are we ready to fight? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want it? All right, I'll be quick. I'm here just to remind everyone that there is 1,000 Palestines across the Americas. There are indigenous communities that have been historically their resources been extracted, they've been discriminated against, they've been murdered, they've been victims of violence from this system. That behind each worker in the United States, there's 10 workers being exploited in Mexico, and Central America, and South America. The struggle, the fight that we're freeing in the United States, it's the fight of millions of people in Palestine and across the Americas. We have a huge responsibility to speak for us, but also to speak for others, because the wealth that we benefit from in this country, in these cities, comes from the blood and suffering of millions of human beings across the world. We need to fight until we bring the system down and rebuild one where the people is at the center. That's why we're marching here. That's why we're here. And in New York City, there's no less than 1 million indigenous immigrants that are here, that are workers that are being exploited, that are delivery workers, that are coming here after being displaced from their indigenous communities, against their will, fleeing from climate change, from disappearances, from all sorts of violence. They know Palestine. They experience it. So the fight is here at home too. So fighting for workers' rights, it's fighting for indigenous rights, it's fighting for everyone in need of change. We need a change. Let's fight for that change. Thank you.
People, not the war.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Feed the people, not the war.
Feed the people, not the war.
All right, guys, we're starting to get ready to march, so if you want to make your way this way. But I want to thank you all for joining us, and I'll see you on the streets, all right? Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for war and occupation.
Not for war and occupation.
Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for war and deportation.
Not for war and deportation.
Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for
the war.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Open up the prison doors.
Open up the prison doors.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Smash the settlers' Zionist state.
Smash the settlers' Zionist state.
Said out with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down with occupation.
Down with occupation.
Up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down with occupation.
Down with occupation.
Said up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down with deportation.
Down with deportation.
Up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down with billionaire corporations.
Down with billionaire corporations.
All right, I'll see you guys marching in the streets.
From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the sea to the river. Palestine will live forever. Palestine will live forever. Palestine will live forever. Money for jobs and Money for jobs and education. Not for war. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the sea to the river. Palestine will live forever. say how? Hands off our students now. We want justice, you say how? Hands off our students now. We want justice, you say how? Hands off our students now.
No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here.
No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here.
No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here.
No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here. No hate, no fear.
Refugees are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here.
No hate.
Check, check.
Continue to be out here, and we want you to join us in our political education courses. We're having one right now called Understanding Zionism at the People's Forum. Join us, learn about it. Because while we may know our ABCs, we need to know our A through Zs to win. So I want everyone to come out. We want everyone to join us, and thank you for coming out on May Day. Happy May Day, everybody.